Hey everyone, welcome back to Everyday English. I am Chris.
And I'm Lena.
Are you ready to dive into today's topic?
Absolutely, Chris. Let's get started.
Imagine this. You check your screen time and realize you've spent over 2.5 hours today just scrolling. That's almost 40 full days a year lost to endless feeds. But what if you unplugged for a month? What happens to your brain, your focus, your life? Let's find out.
That statistic is mind-blowing when you think about it. 38 whole days we could spend doing, well, almost anything else.
And here's what's fascinating. Studies show our brains release dopamine with every notification, creating the same reward pathways as gambling or addictive substances.
So you're telling me we're basically walking around with slot machines in our pockets? That explains so much about why it's so hard to put down.
Exactly right. And when people attempt this 30-day digital detox, the first 72 hours often mirror actual withdrawal symptoms. Their hands get fidgety, anxiety spikes, and some even report feeling phantom phone vibrations.
That's actually pretty concerning when you frame it that way. What keeps anyone going past those first few days?
Well, here's where it gets interesting. Around day 7, something remarkable starts happening. The brain's dopamine pathways begin to reset, and people report experiencing what researchers call digital clarity.
Tell me more about this digital clarity. What does that actually look like in real life?
Picture this. You're standing in line for coffee, and instead of mindlessly scrolling, you notice the barista's intricate tattoo, overhear an interesting conversation, or simply let your mind wander creatively. People report feeling like they're experiencing the world in high definition for the first time in years.
That's such a powerful image. But what about staying connected? We rely on these platforms for so much now.
Here's the surprising part. Studies show that people who quit social media actually report feeling more connected, not less. Instead of maintaining surface-level connections through likes and comments, they're having meaningful conversations and deeper interactions.
But surely there must be some real downsides to this experiment?
Oh, absolutely. Research shows about 67% of people who attempt the challenge struggle with FOMO in the first week. But here's the twist. By week 2, many report experiencing what psychologists now call JOMO, the joy of missing out.
That's fascinating. How does that psychological shift happen?
It's connected to something called the comparison effect. When we're constantly exposed to curated highlights of others' lives, our brains are in a perpetual state of social comparison. Remove that, and people report a 40% decrease in anxiety levels within just 2 weeks.
Those numbers are pretty compelling. What about productivity? I imagine that changes significantly.
The data here is striking. Participants in digital detox studies report gaining an average of 2.5 productive hours per day. That's a whole extra workday every week just from cutting out social media.
So what happens when people complete the 30 days? Do they just dive right back in?
Here's where it gets really interesting. About 80% of people who complete the challenge don't return to their previous usage patterns. Many adopt what researchers call a digital minimalism approach, using social media as a tool rather than a default time filler.
How do they maintain that balance long term?
Most successful participants establish what's called the 20-20-20 rule, checking social media no more than 20 minutes, twice a day, and never within 20 minutes of waking up or going to bed. This approach has shown to reduce anxiety while maintaining social connectivity.
That sounds like a much more sustainable approach than complete abstinence.
And the long-term benefits are significant. Studies show people who maintain reduced social media usage report 45% better sleep quality, 38% improved face-to-face relationships, and a 42% increase in overall life satisfaction.
Those are some pretty compelling statistics. What would you say to someone who's thinking about trying this?
Well, research suggests starting with a 24-hour trial period first. It's like dipping your toe in the water instead of diving into the deep end. About 92% of people who successfully complete a month-long detox started with these micro-detoxes first.
That makes it feel much more approachable. Any final thoughts on the future of our relationship with social media?
Looking ahead, experts predict we're entering what they call the digital consciousness era, where people are becoming more intentional about their online engagement. It's not about completely disconnecting. It's about reclaiming our attention and using these tools to enhance our lives rather than control them.
That's such a powerful way to frame it. Taking back control of our digital lives rather than letting them control us.
Exactly. And maybe that's the real challenge here. Not just surviving 30 days without social media, but fundamentally changing how we interact with these powerful tools that have become such a significant part of our lives. Alright, that's a wrap for today's episode. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on more tips to improve your English. And hey, if you want to take your learning to the next level, check out the books I've linked in the description. These are some of the best resources to boost your vocabulary, grammar, and confidence in English. Blast off!